Oh, the land of the free and the home of the brave. I'm a proud American from my birth to the grave. 47's the top, took a bullet for all. Didn't flinch, didn't run, still he answered the call. And we say, be tight, be tight, be tight. Officer Tatum show. Be tight, be tight, be tight. Officer Tatum show. Oh, the land of the free and the home of the brave. I'm a proud American from my birth to the grave. 47's the top, took a bullet for all. Didn't flinch, didn't run, still he answered the call. And we say, be tight, be tight, be tight. Officer Tatum show. Be tight, be tight, be tight. Officer Tatum show.
If you don't believe that we are in a fight today, you're sleeping under a rock. If you get hit and you lay down and you cry and you fold up in the corner, definitely you will not win the fight. We show up to win. Our culture needs a lot of you young people in here to step up and stand out. There is nothing or no principality, power, division, devil can stop us when we're united. They can only get you when you're divided. When I see the American flag, I see us progressing to something that can be awesome and great. And if you don't plan on winning then, you might as well go home today.
Ladies and gentlemen, ladies, welcome back to another Officer Tatum show. I got my little cowboy hat on. Remember my roots, all right? I'm from Texas. Grew up in Fort Worth, Texas, funky town, the stockyards. My family country, baby. No, I'm just playing. Anyway, let's get to this topic. Y'all like have fun, man. I don't know about y'all, man, but let's talk about Donald Trump and the South African president. He decided to come to the White House, and I would argue that he was unprepared. With all these naysayers on television, on CNN, MSDNC, MS, whatever you want to call it, these people who are literally, they should probably rot somewhere for how disingenuous and evil that they are, or evil they are, propagating hatred and division amongst the people. They are literally ruining this country because they continuously lie and deceive the public. Now, thank God we have President Trump. Thank God we have people like me and others who are committed to showing you what the truth is instead of letting you just get thrown off a cliff. So this gentleman and these Democrat dummies continuously say there is no genocide. There's nothing wrong with white people. Ain't doing it. It ain't happening. It don't exist. Donald Trump a racist. He just let the white people. All right. Donald Trump brought receipts. Somebody get your notebook ready, because he finna throw the receipts down. Roll the clip.
Turn the lights down. Turn the lights down. And just put this on. It's right behind you. Johan.
There's nothing this parliament can do. With or without you, people are going to occupy land. We require no permission from you, from the president, from no one. We don't care. You can do whatever you want to do. Who are you to tell us whether we can occupy land or not? We are going to occupy land. South Africa occupy land.
They embarrassed, boy.
At some point, there must be killing, because the killing is part of a revolutionary act. Shoot to kill. Come on, The man of DJ in PE is a white man. So these people, when you want to hit them hard, go after a white man. They feel a terrible pain because you attack a white man. Not because Mashaba and Suri will not be touched. They will be touched, no one. But we're starting with this whiteness. We're cutting the throat of whiteness. Shoot, kill, no man stop. Kill the blue one, the farmer. Kill the blue one, the farmer.
All right, I think we heard enough. So literally Donald Trump is playing this in front of the president, articulating in front of the world what he is talking about. Look, there's millions of people that look like they're at this event. Not millions, but there's hundreds of thousands that are at this event. And let me just put some context here, because some people may not be aware of this, but I did research on this a long time ago. What this African guy is saying is actually a song. He's singing to a song. And so people are saying that he's not really talking about actually doing this. This is like a chant song for the power, for the people, or then it's referring to something else. But don't you find it interesting that the same subject matter that's in this fight song is the same subject matter that they're complaining about? It's the same reality of some South African farmers who have been murdered and killed and their land taken? Don't you find it to be interesting that those two are consistent? So it doesn't matter that you claim that this was a chant, a fight song that doesn't necessarily have anything to do with actually doing, but look at the actions and behaviors. Look at what this gentleman has said in other interviews that clearly shows and articulates his intent to hate and demolish the white man. Now, I'm not a part of South African culture. I don't know if they justified in what they feel or not, but I will say this. If you are saying that a genocidal behavior isn't occurring when you have leaders like him, you are foolish. Let's finish the clip. Or you can just put the sound on it. Go back just a little bit, because he was just in the interview saying that murder may be an option. Just a little bit. Play it.
I don't know what's going to happen in the future. I'm saying to you, was not called for the killing of white people, at least for now. I can't ever see the future.
Yeah, and you understand somebody watching that, especially as it gets shared on Twitter, they freak out. It sounds like a genocidal.
I can't take it.
Who will expropriate land without compensation, whether they like it or not. If they object, they can seek refugee in America.
Now this is very bad. These are burial sites right here. Burial sites. Over 1,000 of white farmers, and those cars are lined up to pay love on a Sunday morning. Each one of those white things you see is a cross, and there's approximately 1,000 of them. They're all white farmers, the family of white farmers. And those cars aren't driving, they're stopped there to pay respects to their family member who was killed. And it's a terrible sight. I've never seen anything like it. Both sides of the road, you have crosses.
That's crazy. Now, can we speak very candidly? And I'm gonna show you the left getting on and having a meltdown over this very thing and acting like this didn't happen. Can we just say this for once and for all? White lives matter too. I do not understand how people can live a life and not understand that we all matter equally. It's not just black, it's white people too. So that means when there's an injustice against white people, it's wrong. When there's an injustice against black people, it's wrong. I don't care what somebody did 1,000 years ago, 100 years ago, 50, 60 years ago. When a person is treated unfairly, no matter what the circumstance is, it's wrong. I don't care that white people used to own slaves. So did black people. Y'all don't want to have that conversation. Black people own slaves too. A lot, hundreds of them own hundreds of black slaves. The first legal slave owner was a black man. Yeah, they've literally lied to us about, and they were not authentic about what was actually happening during slavery. I took Africana studies in college. That's the only way that I learned anything reasonable about what happened. And I had to learn things after college. Like the fact that Harriet Tubman was married. Her husband was a free black man and they lived together. She had a job. She would go to work and come back. She wasn't who, and I'm not saying that diminishes what she did, but she wasn't who people think she was. You have to ask yourself, how was it the way y'all say it was when she could live with a free black man and lived in the house with her and she was still a slave? That tells you that she wasn't in the field getting whacked over the head all day long, get whooped on the back. There was something else going on. The fact that a man who's black could go to court and sue to retain custody of two people for life in the 1600s, that something else was going on. The fact that you had most of the free blacks still lived in the South, where slavery was legal. Most black people still lived in the South. Anyway, I don't want to go through this. Let's watch the clip, roll it.
Cyril Ramaphosa brought his best diplomatic self to this meeting, but nothing could have prepared him for this multimedia ambush that President Trump laid out with video, with printed out news stories. This was a laundry list of debunked conspiracy theories. Some South Africans are telling me this is AfriForum propaganda. AfriForum is a white Africana lobby group that's considered a white nationalist organization by the Southern Poverty Law Center. Everything, almost everything that President Trump said in the Oval Office is not true, was inaccurate, has been repeatedly debunked.
Hold on, right there. If that is true, then the president of South Africa would have a field day ripping Donald Trump to shreds here. There is no way whatsoever on planet Earth you are the president of a nation. I think he's the president, right? You are the South African president. You're a president of a nation and you're not aware of this propaganda. Like, I don't understand that. That's like if Donald Trump goes somewhere and they go, you said there's good people on both sides and there's a genocide of black people in America. Cops kill 40 million black people a year. Donald Trump will be able to say, hold my tanning lotion. Here's the fact, here's the fact, here's the fact, here's the fact. You guys are completely wrong. Now, I would love to have an honest conversation, but let's talk honestly. This is what I'm doing to combat the things that you're articulating. If it's so widely debunked, the president should be aware of it. Roll the clip. Or we got the other clip. Is there another one? Yeah. All right, roll the clip.
I grew up in an area in South Africa.
Hold on. Let's put it in context. These are two people who are golfers from South Africa, because golfing is big in South Africa. At least that's what Nick told me. So if he's wrong, it's Nick's fault. So these are two golfers that came, and the president brought them, I guess, to be accompany him, I'm assuming, as witnesses, or who could advocate that the race relations in South Africa is not as bad as one would think. So he should have been prepared for anything because he brought advocates. But this is what the advocates said. Roll the clip.
Farmland area, Polokwane.
Yep.
And there is some issues up there. Obviously, my dad was a property developer as well as a part-time farmer. And yeah, some of these buddy farmers got killed. The farm is still going. My brothers run it. But it's a constant battle with farms they're trying to burn the farms down to chase you away. So it is a concern to try and make a living as a farmer. And at the end of the day, you know, without farmers, there's no food on the plate. So we need the farmers to produce the food.
Farming, right? He wouldn't do it. He wouldn't even want to do what you're doing. Right? They love farming. They don't want to leave. But it's a struggle.
Yeah, and you know, food and fresh water is the most important thing in life. You know, without those two things, you can't survive.
How is the water there?
The water's great, obviously. All the water comes out of the borehole, out of ground for us down there. But yeah, it is a battle to get the water out sometimes when all the equipment gets stolen all the time that you're trying to get the water out.
So does your family and your brother, do they feel safe on the farm?
They live behind electric fences, you know, try and be at night safe. But it is constant whenever you leave that something could happen. And
there's nowhere to live.
You know, both of them has been attacked in their houses. My mom's been attacked in her house when she was 80. So it is difficult.
Man, the president looked miserable. Not Trump, but the other guy from South Africa. I don't know if he just wasn't expecting the guy to say what he said, or he just looking like, oh crap, I'm just getting exposed and I ain't even prepared to say anything. I thought I was gonna come here and it was gonna be happy-go-lucky. But what I will say is this: let's just always be honest and transparent. It's very simple. Is there an issue? Yes. Should we address the issue? Yes. No matter if it's black, white, or indifferent. If people are claiming there's an injustice that had occurred, the reason why 80% of the farms are owned by white people instead of black people who are majority, I believe, if we want to have that conversation, let's have that conversation. But there's a remedy to that, and the remedy is not killing white farmers. Can we agree to this? Like, it's the same thing that happens here on the home turf. It's like there are certain things that are reasonable for us to approach. If we feel like the justice system is not fair, which I think the justice system isn't fair generally, I think generally it works, but I think that there's unfairness in the criminal justice system. Do I think it's biased against blacks? No. I think it's biased against poor people. I think it's biased against people who don't have resources, people who are not educated. That's who it's biased against. But it is what it is. Stay out of the justice system. You don't have to worry about being biased. But if there's improprieties there, let's work on them together as a nation, as a people. Let's work when we see white people get done wrong in the justice system. Let's work when we see black people get done wrong in the justice system. Don't be the type of person that's like, oh, I'm only worried about black people. Only when black people do that. No, wrong is wrong, my man. Wrong is wrong. Okay, let's move on. I think that's it. That's the last clip, right? Let's move on, because I think that I have addressed enough there. There is some statistical data here, but I think you guys get the point. All right. Let's go to the DEI hire hanging up on emergency callers. Now, I don't necessarily know if this person is a DEI hire or not, but this is the craziest thing that I have ever heard in my entire life. I had never thought that I hear of or see the day that a person answering emergency calls would be hanging up on people. Now, hanging up on 1 to 2 people is asinine. It almost should be a sin to do other human beings like that. But just wait till you hear how many times that this ghetto bird was in there acting a fool like a dumb end. And these people make people of the melanin look bad. Look at her pompous attitude. Roll the clip.
Krishonda Williams allegedly had no time for emergency callers and no time to talk to us either. After getting a court-appointed attorney, Williams refused to answer any questions on why she allegedly hung up on people calling 911 for help. One caller was trying to report a store robbery that resulted in the clerk being killed.
There was one recording where she hung up on a gentleman who was calling to report people who were racing on the freeways. And after the phone call is disconnected, you can still hear her speaking. And what she says is, ain't nobody got time for this for real.
Williams only faces 2 misdemeanor counts of interference with an emergency telephone call, but there could be many more cases out there.
We were able to narrow down in our period about 825 calls where somebody was actually calling 911 and not the non-emergency line, that she hung up on that person and that they called back within 5 minutes.
Williams could spend 1 year in jail for each charge against her.
All right, let's talk about this real quick. This is the craziest thing that I've ever heard in my life. Now, let's explain 911 calls and why some of these 800 calls could, in fact, be legitimate hangups, right? But if you got that many, something's wrong. It's no reason whatsoever that a 911 call taker should be hanging up on anyone. Even if you can't hear them, you leave the line open. Because maybe they're getting kidnapped and you just need to listen a little bit with the line open. When I was a cop, they used to say it's an open line. And therefore we kind of get an idea of like what's going on. So the person is called and it's an open line, which means that there's a person there, but they're not speaking on the phone. Sometimes that means a person is in grave danger, and sometimes that means that somebody butt dialed or accidentally dialed 911 or a kid playing on the phone or whatever the case may be. But to see her hang up on so many people is insane. I don't know if they're saying that she physically hung up on these people, or was there a hang up and call back, which means that the call could have dropped. The person could have said, hey, hold on, I got bad reception. The person could have accidentally hung up. There's a myriad of different things, but there is no reason for there to be 800 calls where this had occurred. I think that if she is found guilty, she should go to jail for at least 40 years. Somebody died because she hung up on the phone. Somebody needed help, and this woman hung up on the phone. Now, I'm going to say this too. I don't know if you guys have ever seen these videos, and even as a police officer, 911 call takers, many of them are great, but they always sound completely ridiculous. 911 call taking is such an antiquated thing that literally I would never call. I don't want to call 911. I remember calling when I was a police officer, and I was like, I know everything to say to this person, and it's still a problem. I remember there was a guy who was drunk. I was headed to church. My family was in the car. My son was in the car. It was me. It was me and my son. So I didn't want to get too into nothing, but it was a guy passed out at a stoplight. Well, he wasn't moving. And so I get out the car, like thinking that he may have a medical emergency, right? So I'm like, okay, let me get out and see if this guy's alive. Maybe he had a heart attack or something. He just stood at the light. I knock on the door. He's not responding. So I'm like, okay, I might have to call the police. This guy may have passed out. Let me get into cop mode real quick. I knock a little harder. He wakes up. He goes like this. And he rolled the window down. I can smell the hops on that beer coming out the window. And he had a beer can in the driver's seat. He see me, and he drives off. I got my baby in the car, so I ain't trying to chase. I called 911. And it's, what's your emergency? Police or fire? Police. Hold on, let me transfer you. Hey, hello, what's your emergency? I said, a gentleman passed out of the light, odor of intoxicants on his breath. He's clearly impaired. He had a beer in the console, and he's driving off. And here's his license plate. Here's the vehicle description. Here's the direction of travel. Okay, hold on. Sorry, this is Marana. Let me transfer you. This lady transferred me and said, hello, sir, what's your emergency? If I needed help, I'm effed. The 911 call taker that said police or fire, I'd have been screwed. Then I tell this lady this whole thing. Oh, I'm sorry. Let me transfer you. Then the lady asked me all over again what my emergency is. It took 5 minutes or so for anybody to even hear what I had to say. 5 minutes. And I know exactly what to say. License plate number, vehicle description, suspect description, direction of travel. You know, I'm headed northbound in the number 1 lane. on such and such approaching such and such street. He's now made a right turn into the CVS. He's in the CVS parking lot. He's driving in circles. I'm at so and so and so and so, observing him. I'm not following or nothing. He's running from. He see me and he's trying to run from me, although I'm not chasing him. Man, they never showed up. I mean, the guy, I don't know what happened to him. He was gone. I wasn't gonna get in the confrontation with him. I had my kid in the car, but I'm not trying to belittle him. But this is a crazy, egregious story. If she's convicted, she'll serve a sentence of 10 days in jail, 18 months probation. Oh, no, she was convicted. She was charged with 2 misdemeanors. She ended up being convicted in 2018, 10 days in jail and 18-month probation, in order that she apologize and make a decision-making class or take a decision-making class, which is insane. Her attorney claimed that she was dealing with personal problems, not criminal intent. Critics pointed out system-wide issues in 911 center. Prosecutors said she betrayed public trust during real emergencies. Somebody died because she hung up on them. But I will say this. I want to let you guys know, and I know I'm a first responder guy. But be mindful that 911 is not as simple as you think it is. Do not ever think that your number one reliance is going to be on calling the police. I'm just being honest with y'all. At working in law enforcement, you better have a plan of action before you call the police. You better be ready to get out of something, have the ability to get out of something. You better be carrying a gun. You better do something. Because when things hit the fan and you think you're going to have the awareness and poise to call 911 and articulate clearly to them what your emergency is, and they're going to be 100% on top of it and respond to you the way you think they should and send police officers in a reasonable manner, it ain't going to happen. I have called the police many a times. I remember a girl was stalking me. It was a girl I was dating, and I really liked her. She was just a little older than me. I was just like, I don't see us having a future. She was like in her mid 30s or something, and I was in my mid 20s. And I'm like, you know what? Like, I'm not ready to get married yet, and therefore we ain't gonna have kids until you probably 40. Like, or you know what I mean? And I like you, but I can't do this. But the girl didn't want to hear that. And it was a bunch of other crazy stuff going on. But she called me 121 times in 20 minutes. 121 times. She literally was just, I don't know if it was calls or text. Maybe it was text. She did something. It was insane. And I was literally legit. And she knew I was a cop. And I was legitimate. Like, it started with, I was just being honest with her. Like, look, I just don't, I'm not trying to sleep with you. You know what I mean? Do all that. And I don't want a relationship. So I'm trying to be reasonable with you and say, look, I'm not trying to just sleep with you. I want to be in a relationship if we're going to be doing that, but I don't want to be in a relationship. So we need to figure this out. Let's talk it through. I don't want to do this. And we were out to eat. And she drove, so I had to go home with her. This girl driving crazy. I almost like, man, I'm a hit her in the head and jump out the car. But she finally took me to my car, man. I was gone. And the time that I got in my car to the house, she texted me and called me like 100 and some times. I called 911 because I was like, if the girl trip out and come to my house, I got to defend myself. What am I going to do? I don't know. She crazy. I don't know why she going so crazy. Man, that cop came. I say, brother. And then you got to think, I didn't tell him I was a cop. I just know what to say. I say, sir, this woman is calling me. I told her, please stop calling me. She's refusing. She's messaging me on Facebook. She's messaging me on my phone. She's calling me from blocked numbers. This is harassment. We are in a domestic violence situation. That means we have been intimately involved or in a relationship, and she's doing this. According to Arizona law, she has broke the law and it's domestic violence, so she has to be taken to the jail if you develop probable cause. Now, I didn't say all that, but I did tell him what the law was, and I read it right to him verbatim because I arrest people for it all the time. He said, all right, let me go talk to her. He goes to the car, calls her. I get a text from her. You son of a, you called the effing police on me? She going off like she gonna hurt me. He comes back to me. I gave her a call and I said, look at what she sent me after you called. She's threatening me after you just called her right now. Well, he didn't do nothing. He didn't take her to jail. He didn't even go to her house. He didn't do an interview. He didn't do nothing. All of this is on body-worn camera. Now, if I really wanted to push the issue, I would have pushed the issue. But I said, you know what? I'm going to let it go. Because I swear before God, if I was texting this girl like she was texting me, I would be in jail right now. I'll give y'all another scenario, then I'm going to move on. I had to call the cops on somebody. I ain't going to say no names because I felt like that there was a child neglect situation going on. Matter of fact, I knew it was to a certain degree. You can't leave a kid of a certain age at home by themselves for X amount of time. You can't do it. But according to this particular state law, it wasn't a certain age. It was circumstantial. This guy came, he calls me because it was out of state. He didn't do nothing. I said, do you know where the person is? You know how long the person has been gone and left the kid at the house? Oh, I didn't. You didn't ask. Where was this person at? Oh, they said they were here. Did you verify that they were where they said they were? Well, no, I didn't. I said, how do you know they weren't somewhere else for longer than what they saying? You didn't verify. I said, if they were gone for 8 hours, would that make a difference? Well, you didn't even ask, my man. You didn't ask. You didn't ask no question. You didn't do an investigation. I'm making a legitimate call to you to do something about this. I just need you to investigate. He didn't do nothing. Didn't investigate, didn't do nothing. Wasn't even going to write a case report. I said, look, man, and I didn't tell him I was a cop. I said, look, man, I need you to provide a case report to me. You have to. I'm requesting a case report. Give me a case report number. I want you to document this incident in a case report. Don't tell me how to do my job. I say, you better do, sir, I'm requesting a case report. I could have went to the internal affairs on them, but I didn't. All right. So I'm just throwing it out there. It just all these things come to me when I look at the foolery of this woman hanging up on people and how crazy sometimes the police system can be. So just be mindful when you get in a pickle. You better have your gun with you because that's the only thing that's going to save you. They come and write a case report. They don't save you most of the time. All right. All right. Women coming out against the and1 player. Are we going to do Masa? Let me take a break real quick to give some love and honor to our sponsor, Masa Chips. And they've been a sponsor of ours, incredible company, not just because it's a clean, a good tasting chip that I think everybody should replace their chips with, because while you eating chips that's made with seed oil anyway, it's not good for you. But I do respect and appreciate that Masa Chips is taking a step to support conservatives and giving us an opportunity to have advertisement as well. Some of these companies are too afraid and cowardice, and they don't want to support certain people because of certain speech. No, that's not Masa Chips. So not only are they cool in that way, but these chips are incredibly healthy. I mean, they have probably 3 ingredients in the chips: the chip, organic chip itself, beef tallow, and in the lime they have organic lime and sea salt. That's it. In the carbonaro, they have a couple seasonings, some carbonaro chilies, stuff like that, which are just literally 4 ingredients. So therefore, you can indulge. It tastes good, and you don't have to worry about having all of these processed foods, sugars, and all this stuff in your system. The goal for us is to live the life that God has called us to live, and that is a healthy life. So right now, all you got to do is go to the link in the description section or use my code, Officer Tatum, and you'll get 25% off your first bag. So 25% off if you use code Officer Tatum, or hit that link in the description section. All right. Shout out to Masa Chips. Get you some chips today. We got some here, but I can't show it on the screen because it's freaking green. Okay. All righty. Let's get back to the news. Woman comes out against and1 basketball player for assault. Can I do a PSA just real quick about assault? Women, y'all need to go to class and do some research, or somebody need to go to do counseling. women, y'all got to understand what assault is. And you got to understand what being honest with yourself is. And you got to understand that you can't wait 25 years later and think people are going to take you seriously. That's it. That's it. If it happened to you, it happened to you. But y'all got to stop doing what this girl did. This ain't her. This Hendrix. Y'all got to stop doing what this girl did. I'm just keeping it real. This woman said an and one basketball player. Most of y'all wasn't alive when they were doing and one mixtapes. How much of y'all know what the and one mixtape is? Nick, do you know what an and one mixtape is? Do you know what the and one league was? It was like Michael Jordan's league? No, it wasn't Michael Jordan league. But you know what they did? I'm not trying to put you on the spot, but I'm just saying, you in your 20s. This was 20 years ago that they were doing and one basketball stuff. And why would this woman want to come out all these years later and say Hot Sauce did something to her? His name was Hot Sauce. That Hot Sauce did something to her. She didn't go to police. She didn't say nothing for 20 years. But all of a sudden, this Diddy stuff going on. Now she a victim. And wait till you hear what she described. And listen, I've seen domestic violence firsthand. I've arrested people for domestic violence. I know what domestic violence is. I know what grape is. I've arrested people for it. I've taken investigations on it. I know what it is. So I know that some women do get taken advantage of, and women don't deserve to be treated that way. But let's make a difference between you having it happen to you or you just regret what happened to you. That's two different things. A man take advantage of you, he should go to prison for as long as you need to heal. But if you being nasty and being a 304, and then later on down the road, you regret the way you were treated in the bedroom that you chose to get in with a man, and that later on you feel bad about the fact that you were giving yourself to men that you don't even know. You ain't met this man one time. There's a difference. Now, I wasn't there. She could be telling the truth. She could be lying. I wasn't there. So y'all stop just believing everything you read. But listen to what this woman said, and I had to do this video. Maybe y'all don't care about it, but I'm sick of it. I'm sick of women doing this. Save this for women who actually are getting abused, so they have a voice and they have a clean slate to go down and send people to prison, sue, get justice. Y'all bimbos like this need to get out of the way so real victims can have a voice. Roll the clip.
Hi. So trigger warning. This is going to be a very controversial, probably thing people are going to. This is a very big thing that I'm about to talk about.
No, it's not.
That I'm brave enough to talk about now because
no, you're not.
I owe it to 16-year-old me.
Hold on, time out.
Talk about it.
I got it. This narcissistic, selfish behavior. You need to talk about it now for 16-year-old you. You could talk about 16-year-old you with you in the mirror. You didn't say nothing for years, and if this guy was an actual predator doing this to other women, you not brave. You let other women get abused by him because you didn't say nothing. So quit saying you brave because all of a sudden you want to be a narcissist and talk to the public about something you should address with yourself when you were 16. You had all this time to do it, but now you want to make it about you. For you, that you're not brave. You are the problem. If this man was really who you said he was, you just let him skate. He old now. Hot Sauce probably is 50, 60. Yeah, they're on the clip.
In 2007, the basketball team and one came down to our school when I was a young woman, and they did a performance of whatever basketball type. I don't even care. Okay, long story short. They left syringes in the bathroom. They were kicked out of they were never allowed back in that school again. I don't want to say where I live.
I'll make it quick. Y'all got to hear it. So this is her observation. This is what I'm talking about. Her observation is that these and one players came to her school. They left syringes in the bathroom and got kicked out. And what did she do next?
There is a man on the team, or a coward on the team, named Philip Champion. A lot of people know him as Hot Sauce from And
The
One.
GOAT.
I was 16 years old. My friends and I were at Hastings. We walk out, and we were approached by him, his friends, in a van.
Time out. So they came to your school. You don't even play basketball. You 16. They get kicked out of school for syringes and all kinds of stuff. And you know all this. And then they approach you in a van. You 16. Hot Sauce a grown man. You know he a grown man because you know he came with And One. So he approached you out of his van. Okay, what happened next?
And he was aware of our age.
Yep.
You know, he asked how
And
old
you
I
were
was.
his
I
age.
told him. He said
Yep.
how pretty I was and
Yep.
how my lips were beautiful.
Yep.
And that he just thinks I'm a beautiful young girl, and that I needed to hang out with them because they were going to have a party.
Yeah.
At a hotel in the town I live in. Okay. I've always thought that it couldn't have been or grape, whatever you want.
The time out. You skipped the whole thing there. You skipped the whole thing. You had a man that you already know was grown. You know you 16. He said you beautiful. You know what you look like. You know the other boys at the school probably running through it. Maybe not. But you know what you... He invites you to a party. How you get there? How you get to the party? With some guys you ain't never seen before. You ain't never seen these boys before. And you know they grown. They driving. How you get there? No, don't skip that part of your story. How did you get there? Did you lie to your parents? Did you tell your parents? Did you ride in somebody's car? How do you get the Addy though? Did you have a cell phone? So all of this is important to note because you acting like these people coerced you into doing something. You had to meticulously go through a process to get your butt to a place where they are at a hotel with people you ain't never met. Let's see what she do next. Roll it.
Say on TikTok, which I should be able to say what I need to say and it be on here.
Go ahead.
Because I went to the party myself. And as young women, we are told, you ask for it. I didn't ask for what happened to me that night.
What happened to you?
I went to the hotel,
You went to the
and
hotel?
I followed him into a room.
Oh, shit. No,
And-
stop. This is why women be messing up other women. Ma'am, you skipping crucial steps. You get to a hotel, you follow him to a room. Where did you meet him at in the hotel? Where's your friends at? You went by yourself? You went with friends? What conversation did you have with him and when you first saw him at the hotel? Was the room upstairs? So that means that you found him in the lobby somehow and you voluntarily went from the lobby up to elevator to a room. What time was it when you were going to do this? You 16 and he grown. You ain't never met this man before in your life. And you went to a room to do what? I followed him. He didn't push you in a room. He didn't drag you in a room. You followed him into a room to do what?
And he me in that room
Did he?
and kept telling me repeatedly for the amount of time, whatever time it was, which felt like forever, that I had hood in me over and over and over and over again, repeatedly over and over and over again. I had a couple friends who heard me screaming. But again, we are young women and too afraid to do anything about it because nobody takes us effing seriously. I'm doing this because so many young girls blame themselves for what a disgusting man does.
Hold on, time out. No, you're leaving details out, sweetheart. You say you went into a room and they heard you screaming and he was saying nasty things to you. Wait a minute. If you're going to get on the internet, you need to describe more than that. And you know why she's not describing more than that? Because almost 20 years ago, she probably don't have no memory of this stuff. When you got into the room, what was said? Did you take your clothes off? Or did he make you take your clothes off? Were y'all kissing? Did y'all do some foreplaying? Or did he take you in there, take your clothes off, hold you down and do? You need to tell us exactly what happened to you, since you want to be vulnerable on the news. I mean, on the social media, because people don't deserve to just listen to you because you talking. You ain't helping nobody by saying I followed somebody into a room and then they heard me screaming. They heard you screaming. What was you screaming? Because they may think y'all were having a good time. How they know? What was you screaming? Stop. Please don't. Help me. That's a different story. Because then if you yelling, stop, help me, I don't want to do this, and your friends hear you struggling and screaming for help and they didn't do nothing, now we got another. Now she's implicated her friends. But she not going to say that. She just throw out they heard me screaming. And we think we deserve it. That's too simplified. How did you get, when you were done, what happened when you were done? Did you walk out of the room with your clothes on or off? Did you run out and escape, or did you leave? Did you ever respond to him again after this scenario? And when you left, did you tell your friends or did you not tell your friends what happened to you? And if you did, why nobody said nothing for 20 years except you right now? Come on, let her finish.
That disgusting man has been walking around since I was 16 years old. And I don't know what he has done or what he's capable of. But I've tried to come after him. I have told and I have put in complaints, and none of it is being taken seriously. And so I want him to know, and this team to know, that they should be ashamed of themselves. Because it is disgusting what I went through. And I didn't deserve it. 16-year-old me did not deserve that. And grape is great, no matter how you want to spin it.
No.
I was a child. And a child's rational part of their brain does not develop till they're 25 years old.
No, you can't do it. You can't use that.
I didn't deserve it. I didn't ask for it. But I want Philip Champion to know that you did ask for this.
Ask for what?
And you are disgusting, and you should be ashamed of yourself. And I'm not humiliated to post this, and I don't care who believes me.
Yeah, me neither.
Because he knows, and I know what happened that night.
He don't care either. You didn't go to the police, so why would he care? Philip Champion, the N1 legend, is not even watching this video. You throwing that man's name out with things you can't substantiate. I don't get women like this, y'all. I don't get it. Some of y'all in the comment section probably mad at me and saying, you go to believe women. Nah, man. Bruh, what are you accomplishing? And one has been dead for a long time. I was a kid when Hot Sauce and White Chocolate and them were doing N1 mixtapes. What are you accomplishing today by saying these things you're saying? Women got to stop doing this. Now, I don't know what happened. Maybe he did. But the way you're going about this gives nobody a reason to believe you. But women got to stop acting like they're absolved for all responsibility when they doing stuff. You can't say, I'm going to, like, for instance, I almost had to thwart a situation. I had two situations in my life where I almost had to go and intervene. These women they dumb, but I think that they could have been caught up in something they shouldn't have been, right? I'm in the dorm room, freshman guys playing football. I'm walking down the dorm hall. I see a couple players in the room. It was 3 of us, maybe 4 of us. One guy he was insane. We get in the room. We in there chilling. No girls in the room. I don't even know who room this is. Just us in there. 2 girls walking down the hall. I don't know if he said, hey, y'all, baby girl, come in here. They come in the room, door open. I'm chilling. We all chilling. I'm too shy to talk to women anyway, so I'm not really even trying to pitch at them. I'm just hanging out. This fool decides he want to screw these girls. Nobody else is participating but him in his mind. Nobody's talking to these girls but him. They just walk in the room. This is broad daylight. His fool shut the door and turn the lights off. Man, I can't say their names, but me and the other guy was like, man, you out your mind. Turn that light on. We up out of here. Turn the light on. We open the door. We left. He didn't get to touch him or nothing. It was immediately when he turned the light off, it was over. I said, this dude want to go to hell or jail We just got here. We freshmen. And these girls, there's many girls that's with it. We ain't got to turn no lights off on no girl. We just go out and you get the right one. They'll come back and turn the light off for you. But so that's one. And thank God he didn't resist her because we would have whooped him in there. The second one was I was at a wedding. Everybody drunk. I'm not as drunk as these other people. These two girls are sitting on the side of the street. We in the Uber. This D-bag, women, I don't know how they fall for dudes like this. He just yell out, hey, y'all, come on with us, baby. Come on with us, man. We can have a good time. This girl gets in the car, her and her friend. And it's me and him. So it's 2 on 2. Now, of course, the cute one, he grabbed. The ugly one, he put, and I'm sitting in the back like this. I'm not talking to her. I don't want nothing. She ain't even that cute. I don't want nothing to do with this. The other girl is in the front seat in front of me. She don't know this guy. She got her breasts out. He kissing on her, he doing stuff. She goes back to the hotel with us. I said, I'm going to bed. I go to the room. They all partying in somebody else's room that had beer in it. I'm asleep. He comes up. I hear boom, boom, boom. I hear some people. And so I'm kind of up, but I'm not acting like I'm up, right? Because I'm like, if this dude come in here and have, what with this girl while I'm in this bed, I'm going to be mad. But let me just listen in and see what they doing so I don't get in the middle of something. And they went into the bathroom and I hear her yell, let me out of here. And I said, she is the stupidest girl in the world by even getting in the car with a guy she don't know, going to a place she can't get from, drunk as a skunk, and she in the bathroom. But I ain't finna let nothing happen I'm in that room. So shit, let me out of here. And I'm like, let me just listen to see how far this go, man. It's if he don't let her out in the next couple seconds, I'm gonna get up and I'm gonna go hard on this guy. So a couple seconds later, she said it again. He let her out. They go off in the hallway and they out of the room. Right. And I'm still acting like I'm asleep. But let me say this. The girls in that room, don't be stupid and go in a room with some random dudes. I'm not saying they deserved anything because nothing happened to them. Don't be stupid enough to go to some hotel with some random dude because you may not be lucky next time. I'm not saying she deserved it, but don't be stupid. And I'll end it with this. Women, you have to take responsibility for your actions. Because if you drunk, they drunk. If you are texting and you going to somebody's house at 3 o'clock in the morning and you going into a room with them, the man is thinking you want to do something. And you giving every sign and symptom that you trying to have sex. It's 3 o'clock in the morning. What are y'all going to go in there and do? Play Tetris or something? So stop being silly because then you get yourself in a situation where now he want to do something. And you saying, no, I don't really want to do something. Now he thinking, it's what they do. I don't do this on the first date. That's what they do. And he like, she just say that. She say that. She just saying that right now because she feel she don't want to look like a whoa. So she going to just say this and I'm just going to overcome that and we'll be good. And then you get yourself in a situation where you either don't say no, but you did want to say no. You feel pressured to not say, you know what I'm saying? Now you're in a weird thing. Quit being silly, man. Stevie Wonder know and can see that you go over a man's house at midnight, you want to have sex with that man. What else are you doing? Now there's exceptions for women that have an understanding where you go over there with the intent and say it, we're not doing nothing. But still, don't be going over nobody's house that late. There's a difference between a woman who get taken advantage of and a woman who regret. This girl sound like she regret what happened. Because she went in that room, she really didn't want to go as hard as he wanted to go, probably. And then she got to leave with a walk of shame because she didn't have with some random dude that probably had an STD. And now she want to give her little thing. I would never go down the street. I would never walk down the hood with a gold chain on. Do I deserve to get robbed? No. But am I asking people, please, I'm the one to rob. If you want to rob, or you want to rob somebody, I'm available to rob me. I got this big old chain on, and I'm going to walk down a dark alley in the hood where I know people are robbing people. I don't deserve to be robbed. The police will take the police report. But it ain't gonna stop the thugs from robbing me. So what do, Brandon? I'm not walking down a dark road in the hood with a gold chain on. That's what I did. Now, if somebody come into my house and rob me, or somebody forced me in the back of a van and robbed me, that's a different scenario. But I'm not going to put myself in the position to be a victim. And women don't want to hear this, but I'm telling you anyway, men will agree with me. Women, don't put yourself in a position to be a victim. You walking around looking like a prostitute, men will see you and treat you like a prostitute. If you're walking around with your breasts out, you can say all you want. I don't deserve to be catcalled. I don't deserve to be treated. You are right. But the dirty, nasty dudes amongst us, the predators, are going to hone in on you because you giving them everything that they want. And let me add this. Don't go to their house. You don't deserve for somebody to take you against your will. But if you're going to go to Mike Tyson's house at 2 a.m., what do you think you and Mike Tyson finna do? What do you think he might do? And then you got to consider, if I'm in there and I don't want to do nothing no more, can you get out of there? And if the answer is no, don't put yourself in a situation where you're going to be victimized. That is your responsibility. And let me just go on. And I'm telling you right now, I'm going to make this statement right here because I don't know if I'm ever going to run for president or anything big going to happen. I have never been in a questionable situation with a woman a day in my life. Everything has been consensual. Even on the first date before I was saved. On the first date. Let me not say that. Let me get on. Nick, should I move on? Because y'all got to stop. It's better left unsaid. Y'all got to stop this because people be really acting like maybe I got a bad reputation. I mean, I got a bad thought of women. Like, people be really acting like women are just be innocent and they be doing that. I don't know of a woman that, maybe one or two, my wife being one of them, that wouldn't do something on the first date. If you good look man and you got the game, they do it on the first date. And every woman that did something with me on the first date said, I normally don't do this on the first date. Every woman that my friend had done something on the first date, they said, we don't normally do this on the first date. Y'all got to stop being that way. That's how these predators, and that's how they live. That's how men, I'm not trying to blame women completely because men, don't be a dirtbag. You need to, you know what I mean? You got to take some responsibility. But the only reason these guys are out here being promiscuous is because there's women that are willing to be promiscuous with them. The only reason that men like Diddy exist is because women are like Cassidy are willing to forego their moral compass to be with a man for money and fame. Freak offs and all that, willing participants. Men don't have freak offs if women ain't at the freak off. Men don't sleep with a bunch of women if they don't say yes. Okay. All right. I think I'm moving on. I got a meeting here in a few minutes. Let's get to Marco Rubio real quick. I want to do the Marco Rubio thing. I got Shiloh Hendricks. I got a whole bunch of stuff. I've been running my mouth on that one topic too long. What you got? No, we got stories coming. All right, let's go with Nah. Let's go to Jamal Bryant real quick. Because we'll talk about this tomorrow. I think this can, and Hendricks, we'll talk about tomorrow. I just want to say, because this is stuff that bothers me. Jamal Bryant and these modern pastors, I just want to point them out, and I want them to be exposed, every single one of them. Roll the clip.
What is transgender?
Yep. So, yep. In the pure sense of the term, doctors make guesses at what gender is going to be at birth. right? Which
Time
is
out.
why people still.
No, they don't make guesses at what gender is. They don't guess unless they're guessing at conception. But they're not guessing. They look at clear DNA, or for more modern, for traditional stuff they do, they look at the genitalia. They see a pee-pee or they don't see a pee-pee. They see the pee-pee and they show you there on that thing. I got 2 kids. They go on that ultrasound. They go, see, there you go right there. I say, boy, he's just like his daddy. Boy, that's just like his daddy. That's his daddy right there. Y'all joking. Y'all know I'm joking. So I say, yep, that's my boy. And he a boy. And if they look at that thing and they go, yep, that's not that. That's a girl. They ain't guessing. Roll the clip.
Engage in this arcane practice of gender reveals. Doctors are using every tool that they have, right? They're assessing chromosomes and makeup through the lens of biology, which is more of a social construct. The two things get mixed together. And they typically say that this child will likely be a boy. This child will likely be a girl. There's a small percentage of times where you cannot make a determination based on scientific principles. And so that baby might be intersex. If you as a person growing up and developing identify with the gender that the doctor assigned to you, you are cisgendered. CIS. Okay. Not cis, you are cisgendered.
Tell me what that is.
It simply means that your gender identity is consistent with the gender identity that a doctor assigned to you.
Okay.
If that is not true for you, if my identity is different than what a doctor said it was going to be,
yes,
you're trans.
Now, you know Jamal Brown went to college. He's educated. Now, he got the wrong education, but he's educated. That was the other guy, not the trans guy right here, but this other guy, or the guy that's advocating for trans. So Jamal Bryant know exactly what transgender is. He know exactly what cisgender is. He's playing the game. These people, I didn't watch everything Jamal said, but knowing how he support abortion, and he had a guy who pretty much said that gay is good and decent in God's eyes, is no different. And this is the problem with these modern churches, man. I don't know what kind of crack cocaine these people smoking. I don't know if it's because they want a big church. I don't know what it is. But what I do know, it's a shame. Because let me be very clear real quick, and I'm going to shut up and I'm not going to say anything else. Being a Christian is not a social club. Being a Christian means you follow Christ. Following Christ don't mean you acknowledge Christ. The devil knows Christ, but yet don't follow him. The devil knows, the demons know who Jesus Christ is and tremble at his name. So just because you know who Jesus is don't mean you follow him. So just because you know of a man named Jesus that died on the cross don't mean you're a Christian. Okay, let's move on. You cannot be a person who follows Christ but rejects Christ's principle. Those two things are antithetical. They cannot go together. Now, you could be born confused how you feel on the inside with what's on the outside. That's called gender dysphoria. You can be confused at what genitalia you're attracted to when you born and you grow up and you begin to understand these things. You can be confused. But there's a difference between being confused and living in confusion. Nobody can say nobody cares who you're attracted to. It's what you act on. That's what matters. I can be attracted to big booty Latinas. But if I'm married, then some gotta give. That means that I can't act on that even though I look at that and I'm like, oh, that girl look good. You got to make a decision. You have to say, oh, that girl look good, but the Lord wouldn't want me thinking about no other woman like that. I got a wife. I need to be faithful to my wife in my mind and in my actions. So let me just even though that look good, I like it like that, but I need to focus on what God has called me to do. The same thing is with homosexuality. The same thing is with transgenderism. If you're going to be a Christian, now, if you just don't want to be, you don't have no faith, then who cares what you believe, man? Have fun. That's why I say, if you, look, living for Jesus ain't easy. There's a lot of stuff that I have to pray about that I want to do. I can't do. There's a lot of stuff when I was a single man that I wanted to do, but I couldn't do. So you got to pray about that. It ain't easy. But if you ain't going to believe in God anyway, you might well be out here doing your thing. But don't call yourself a Christian. And don't say you love Christ. Because Christ said, if you love me, you'll keep my commandments. And I think the pursuit of keeping commandments is what Christ wants, not a person who know the commandments and don't even pursue them whatsoever. So if you gay or you like another man, you know, I don't know if you can control that or not, but you can control what you participate in. You can control whether or not you want to live a homosexual lifestyle. If you somehow question your identity, you don't feel like you're a man or a woman, if you want to be a Christian, read your Bible and pray about it. Read your Bible and figure out what God stand on that stuff. Figure out what Jesus said. And then you should live by that principle. And I'm okay with people who struggle, but they acknowledge and is pursuing change. But when you say, I am going to live like this forever, but I'm also going to reap the benefits of calling myself a Christian, that's when you mess up. Because a person can struggle with cheating or whatever the case may be. But if you're going to come into a thing and say, no, God, I'm going to be married, but I'm going to cheat the whole time. I'm just going to cheat the whole time because that's my nature. I was born this way. I'm just going to cheat on my wife the whole time. Well, that don't make no sense, bro. You come in there and you say, no, I'm going to drink. I'm an alcoholic. That's what I do. So I'm going to get drunk every night and still be a Christian. You're declaring that that's my lifestyle. You're not declaring that, God, I need you to rescue me from this. I have an addiction to alcohol. I have addiction to pornography. I have addiction to whatever your addiction is. That's the difference between I got an addiction. I want to give that to you. I understand that it's wrong, and I understand I need to repent and change. Help me through the process. And it's no different from fidelity with your loved one, whether it's, when I say love, I mean your wife, or it's your sexual confusion, whatever the case may be. All these things, whether it's stealing, whether it's cheating, whether it's lying on your taxes, it's all the same. You either pursuing God to deliver you, or you have accepted it as a lifestyle, and you can't do both. All right. All right. Love you guys. I got to get to a meeting. We'll talk about Marco Rubio tomorrow. We'll talk about Shiloh Hendricks, who's a complete idiot. We'll talk about Jake Tapper, Hunter Biden. The Texas man died in the back of a police car. I got to talk about that because I really don't think the officer should be in trouble for it, although I think it didn't look that good. The vet who was fired from AutoZone, we'll talk about that. And city councilwoman assaulting police officers, police and ICE. We'll jump on that tomorrow. I love you guys. Let's get to the super chats real quick, and then we're going to jump off. While I got you on here, I want to do a Tatum story real quick. Just so you guys know, we developed a shirt that's for Police Week. This is commemorative, right? This is Police Week 2025. And so what we did is, and I'm going to sign every single shirt. If you purchase this shirt, I'm going to sign it. If you want it signed, just put, when you purchase it, just put in the comment in the note section you want it signed, or if you don't want it signed, I don't have to sign it. Because I don't want to sign your shirt and you really want to put it up somewhere without my signature on it. But if you want it signed, I'll sign it. Also, we put the on the back of the officers who lost their lives in the line of duty this year. So it's commemorative. So if it's somebody from your department or family member lost their life, this is a shirt that I think you can keep and hold on to and remember this year at Police Week. Now, the caveat is, well, not caveat, it's that it's not my interest to really make money on this shirt, right? We're going to donate proceeds from the shirt to police organizations that are doing the work, that are supporting families of fallen officers. I'll let you know which ones we're going to use. I haven't chosen them yet, but I'll let you know which ones we're going to donate to. So just know you can get that shirt. If you want it to honor Police Week, put signature in the comment section and I'll sign it. Just don't use the auto pen like Joe Biden, okay? I think that's it. And let's do the super chats real quick because I got to talk to them for 16 minutes and then I got to get to a meeting. All right. Let's go. I'm going to go fast as I can. I love you guys anyway. Let's go up. There's a top, huh? Yeah, I can go on screen, not screen, don't matter to me. I need to scroll to the top. For some reason not scrolling. There you go. All lives matter. Sheldon, thanks so much. I agree. Jess, it says all lies from the left, always trying to gaslight people. The way POTUS handled this is the only way to make sure his point gets across 100%. It was not an ambush. It's reality 100%. Because if he don't do it, they won't talk about it. Let's see. Mamba, thoughts on cultural appropriation and people yelling racism every time it happens. Oh, cultural appropriation. People got to shut up. Everybody culturally appropriating. The fact, if you're a Christian, you're culturally appropriating. Because Christianity and Jesus it came from Judaism. So, I mean, in part, there's things that you do from Judaism. So everybody's culturally appropriating. There's no such thing as cultural appropriation. You could honor and love and respect other cultures, and that's totally fine, unless you're an idiot and you think everything is racist. I used to be a 911 operator. It's a stressful career, but it is unacceptable, 100%. I bet it is stressful. I couldn't talk to these people on the phone like that. People are nutty. I remember when I was doing customer service. I'm not trying to be mean to y'all. When I was doing customer service on my store. Now I outsource it to my guy in Tucson. But when I was doing customer service myself, boy, I was mean. I was mean to some people. They'd be like, I hate you, Brandon. I'll never buy from you. You a fraud. I'd be like, don't buy from me then. Take your money back. I don't need your money. I'm like, that's probably not the way to handle it. But people get mad at you and say the craziest things to you. A lady the other day, but I called and every time I call people, they calm down. But she's like, you a fraud. You tearing labels off your clothes. And I'm like, I called and explained, like, hey, this is what it is. We order it. The blanks, companies make blank shirts, and we order the blanks, and they make the tag to be tearaway so you can put your own brand in it. This is what they do. That's the purpose of the shirt. We buy it right here in America, but that's the reason the tag is torn off. Nobody's trying to hide that we get it from China. We don't need to get shirts from China. Anyway, we need to come together as a society and talk about the real problem is social media. I can't see that. What does it say? I don't know that's the real problem. We've created a society of tweakers addicted to the internet. Phil, thanks so much for the super chat. Yeah, but I agree with you a little bit, but then also I'm like, no, the problem is not social media. The problem is people. It's one thing. Nick, you got to go back. I had one more super chat. Yeah, it just popped up. The problem is not the internet. The problem is the people. People need to take responsibility for their own devices because social media is tremendously a help to me, to be informed, to learn stuff, to get motivation. I use social media every single day to do incredible things. Now, if you want to be dumb and use social media in the worst way, that's on you. I set the tone. It says, truth set us all free. Salute from Australia. Thank you, Brandon, our brother Tatum. God bless you guys. I'll see you on the next one.
Oh, the land of the free.